Hello, everybody, and welcome to the More Sugar Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Calendar, and I'm back. By God's grace, I'm here for another day, another recording. Thank you for showing me so much love, um, all the feedback. I greatly appreciate it. All the questions, all the suggestions. I'm truly humbled. You guys are amazing. And I thank you for always riding the wave with me and going on every journey that I decide to go on. Whew, I know it's been a minute since I recorded, but I always say I have a lot going on, but no, truly. And it's not a bad thing. Life has been amazing. It's been truly amazing. And for the last month, every day I wake up and I can't believe that this is my life. I'm extremely happy, and because I've been in such a happy space, it prompted me to want to talk about something happy. It prompted me to want to talk about love. Um, I, in the book Sugar My Grits, Grief to Gratitude Through Grace, there's a chapter titled Her, and that chapter was titled for my wife. The subtitle was Amor Prima Vista, which means love at first sight. Now, the book, I'm hoping everybody read it by now, or bought one or two or three or four. Sent some to your friends and family. It's an amazing book. It's not just a one-time read. I like to consider it a reference. Again, that Sugar My Grits, Grief to Gratitude Through Grace. And in it, I speak about the grief. And throughout my grief and my healing process, the one thing that was consistent was my wife and that love. And I just wanted to talk about love because it has sustained me through so much, and it mean it has the meaning of it has transcended for me over time. So 20-year-old Amanda, or if you've known me for a long time, that's definitely Mandy. What love meant to Mandy, it definitely doesn't mean the same for Amanda. And throughout the last couple of months, just like conversations with my friends, whether we're sitting around having drinks or whether we're at a table late night um, for beach house weekend visit and we sitting around the table just laughing and talking, we do talk about relationships and love. And a lot of my friends are in long-term relationships. I like to call us the coupledom. But then I do have single friends, and my single friends know what love is, and they're adamant about that. So maybe that's why they say you have to be adamant in knowing what love is and what you will settle for, and what you're willing to 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 take away. So I fell in love with the idea of love first. I'm 48 years old, so I'm an 80s kid, which means I was exposed to some of the best music growing up. My mother loved music. She listened to Stephanie Mills, The Whispers, Luther Vandross, Big Luther, and Skinny Luther, um, even Anita Baker. So these songs had already formed in my mind what love was supposed to look like. Like between Luther's So Amazing and Here and Now, man, listen, like there's nothing like a Luther Vandross love song. Matter of fact, Here and Now was the first dance that my dad and his wife danced to at his wedding. And like your first dance, you never really make it through your first dance. So after halfway through the song, after him and his wife danced, I got a chance to dance with my dad, and just smelling his cologne, and he was so handsome that day, and the song, and he held me, and I seen how he looked at his wife. And my dad, he wasn't a talker, but neither was my brother, but you can look in their eyes if they love someone and see the love in their eyes. So no matter what type of relationship me and my dad or my brother had, I could look even in their eyes and see love and passion. Even when me and my brother disagreed, um, I can see the eyes are definitely the window to the soul. And I think that's why my wife jokes like it's the reason why my brother wore shades in the club, because to look into his eyes, you got a sense of his vulnerability, and that's just something that he just like didn't want to express. But um, yeah, so I'm sorry. I every time I talk about my brother, I think about him not being here, and how his life was cut short, and I gotta go. It always makes me just sigh and just think like, man. But anyway, we're talking about love. So a Luther Vandross, so amazing the here and now, which brings me to my idea of love stemmed from hearing these songs growing up and what they sung about. And so as a kid, I imagined what love was supposed to feel like through these songs. Even now, I love a good song, like A Couple of Forevers by Chrisette Michelle. Um, Nothing Even Matters, Lauren Hill. And with these songs and my relationships, I've learned that um, there's a difference between being in love and loving someone. And that is so cliche. People run around and say that all the time. Oh, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Like, what does that mean? And for me, the difference between being in love with someone and loving someone is intimacy. Plain and simple, intimacy. And I think that's what keeps me in love with my wife. We are intentional about intimacy. Now, before y'all go, thinking that this is about to be X-rated show, intimacy does not have to necessarily mean sex. I don't mean sex when I mean intimacy. Intimacy is holding hands. Uh, Sometimes when me and my wife are going for a walk, even if it's just from the car, if we're walking from the car to an event we're going to, I'll reach down and I'll grab her hand. And again, these are feelings of love that I feel for her. So I want to grab her hand. I want her to feel that I love her, and I'm here to protect her. And I seen my dad do that to his wife. I'll never forget. They were walking to the car, and I was walking behind them, and I seen him reach down and reach for her hand, and that indicated to me that, man, he wanted her close to him. He wanted her to know that uh, he loved her. And so um, that's what I do. And it's a way of making someone again feel protected. And intimacy is also sharing dreams. You sometimes your dreams are your innermost feelings, and sometimes people might think, oh man, my dreams, what you aspire to be, what you want to do. Sometimes you might think that sounds crazy to the outside world. So, in order to protect your feelings, you don't want to share that with too many people. So you have to really be in love with someone and feeling someone to want to share your dreams with them. It's like the window to your soul, especially if you are an artist. And I learned that from my son. He's very sensitive about his art. He's very sensitive about someone critiquing him because we put a dream is something that starts from a mustard seed, and we plant it with the hopes of it prospering into something so big that our heart just explodes. Now imagine sharing that deep love for something that you want to just grow, and someone that just like shits on that, right? So you want to protect that. And so in order to share that with someone, you have to feel a love radiating from them, right? So sharing dreams and being to you know what I find that my wife and I have done from Jackson's my our son is 6 now, but I noticed we did this the fourth year of his life. We spent a lot of time at home, and we were able to just be together and not having to say anything. We could sit in front of the TV for hours and just watch TV and not say anything. Or we could be in the same room and she could be doing something. Uh, I could be reading a book, or she could be doing something on the computer for work or real estate, and we could just be in the same room. And I would look up and I say, and I look over. Like recently, she was over in the kitchen doing something, and I'm in the dining room and I'm working on the laptop. And excuse me, she was in the kitchen, and I don't know what she was doing. I just, felt her presence. I just looked over, and again, I'm in such a happy space, and I just couldn't believe like this is my life. Like she's been in this kitchen for the last hour and a half, and I've been over here, and every so often I look over, and sometimes I wouldn't want to. I would no, not sometimes. I wouldn't want to share empty space with anyone but her. And a lot of times that people think, well, not even a lot of times people think. I myself, growing up, always thought, but I didn't think I wanted to. Again, once you hear these amazing love songs, right? You daydream of how your life is gonna be, and you daydream of your perfect mate. And then it's like, especially when you see these Disney movies with the princess, and Prince Charming has, except for Shrek wasn't Prince Charming, but in our dreams as little girls and boys, the mate that we see is always beautiful or handsome. It's like never an ogre. So when I grew up and I started dating, um, aesthetics was very important to me. And so thankfully, the guys that I dated were handsome men until until. So if you know me, high school. I went to the prom with my boyfriend at the time, and yeah, he was not an attractive guy on my scale of attractiveness. My friend Patricia Haley, God rest her soul, she always would tell me that beauty is subjective, right? And she just didn't not agree with calling people ugly. So I'm gonna channel her in the spirit and not say this guy was ugly, but I dated a guy that was not attractive, and I dated him a long time, and I fell in love with him. And what I fell in love with was, um, something was sexy about him. And you know what was sexy about him? He protected me. I felt safe around him. There's nothing more sexy besides a woman's shoe than feeling protected and safe, like taken care of. There's something about someone putting their arm around you and saying it's going to be okay, and you feeling that, you you understanding that they mean that and they would lay down their life for you. There's nothing like holding hands and walking down the street and someone pulls you and switches sides and pull you to the inner side of the curb. There's nothing more sexier than feeling protected. And that's what I pulled from my heterosexual relationships. And that's what I wanted for the women in my life. Um, I felt protected and loved by the men I dated, and I wanted to give that to the women I dated. And again, in the book, I speak about struggling, with my sexuality, but that's one thing that I did not have a problem switching over or becoming was a protector and a provider. And I think that is what makes people fall in love with you, when you can protect them. So I remember when I first met my wife, she was a bartender. You know, she made good money. There's nothing wrong with bartending. Not the bartenders these days who are like half naked, and you gotta take off your clothes to I think they call them bar. I don't know, the bar stars now, bottle girls or whatever. But I'm not here to judge. Get that money, sis. But my wife was a bartender, and she made very very good money. And I used to go to the bar and sit with her and have a couple of cocktails, and just not to watch her, but to watch the surroundings, um, and to let her know that, uh, again, you're safe. As long as I'm here, you're safe. And but the minute there was an incident at the bar where some guy had to get escorted out, and he came back and he shot into the bar, and um, we weren't hurt, but a friend of hers got shot. And at that moment, I knew it wasn't safe. I felt like it wasn't safe for her, and so I asked her to quit. No, no, let me take that back. Asking her to quit is like saying, "Hey, you're not sure about something. Like maybe you shouldn't do this anymore." I absolutely did not ask her to quit. I absolutely told her to quit, and she didn't ask any questions. She quit and got a regular 9 to 5, and the rest is history. But that sense of protection that she felt, I'm sure, provided a level of comfort that I'm pretty confident that no other relationship provided. I'm not saying that um, in her time working there, that other uh, people that she dated didn't come up to the bar and other people didn't ask her to quit. But the moment I told her to quit and that this isn't safe, like um in the movie The Bodyguard, he says to Whitney Houston, like, I can't protect you like this. Like, and I do some things that's out of my control. I can't protect you like this. So we have to leave this situation. And that's love. When you look beyond um the situation and into the future and think that, how can I make this better? Um, what can we do that is gonna save us from some heartache and hardship down the line? And that was that. And Speaking of hardship and heartache, with love comes heartbreak. Everyone, I can't think of anyone who's been in love that has never, ever, ever gotten their heart broke. And just as well as there are these amazing love songs and stories, there's awful, 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 awful lay on the floor with a rusty razor and a bottle of vodka breakup songs that makes you want to just slit your wrists, because as high as love can take you, heartbreak has to drop you just as low. Now, I don't know the lesson in that, but if to put the 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 saying, the cliche is to put all your eggs into one basket and then it just breaks. So if you were just to think of that cliche in the terms of love, when we go into relationships and we are wholeheartedly in love, every day we wake up, this is gonna work. Um, this is the love of my life. We have a future together, and you spend all your time together working towards that goal, and for whatever reason it falls apart, no matter whose fault it is, you're never prepared um, for that heartbreak. I had a heartbreak that I speak about in the book that I believe changed the course of my entire life. And it at the time I thought life was over, of course, but it it changed the course of my life. And I think that now, at 48 years old, happily married for 22 years with an amazing 6-year-old son, I have a career that I love. I look back and say that I survived the heartbreak. And no matter, and I survived the heartbreak, and people whom hearts I have broke have survived. Thank you, Jesus. I've never um, broken up with someone, and everyone struggles. We all struggle to get through again, because you don't expect um, to these relationships that you put your all into to end. And when they do, we have to navigate those feelings. And I just pray that everybody out there navigating the heartbreak has amazing friends. I hope you have resources and um, music. just as music will get you through love, and music carries you through love, the same resources of friends and music and talking things through will get you through a heartbreak. I'm not gonna say heartbreaks aren't the end of the world, because when you're in it, they are very much so the end of the world. Um, I got my heart broke, and I've seen someone deal with a broken heart, and you can't get out the bed, you can't eat, you can't sleep. Some people can't work. There's deep depression, but you live another day. And I've been so heartbroken when it literally felt like an elephant was standing on my chest, like I can't breathe. And there's different types of heartbreaks. Now, every heartbreak doesn't have to do with a lover, right? Because grief breaks your heart. And I remember the death I've experienced. My brother recently passing away. I say recently, but it'll be 2 years ago next month. And I couldn't sleep. And it wasn't because of the emotional toll that his death had on me. It's because my heart was broken. And I'm a planner. I'm a thinker. And I didn't know. And it was in the middle of COVID. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm having a stroke. Maybe I have COVID. Nope. My heart was broken. And what got me through the heartbreak is getting up every day and putting one foot in front of the other and working through those emotions, feeling those emotions. Like, it's like getting in a cold pool when you put your toe in. Sometimes you can't put your toe in, you just gotta jump in. And then sometimes you put your toe in, and then your whole foot, and then your ankle, and then your knee, then your thigh, and your waist, your chest, your neck, your head, and you in. That's how I work through it. Piece by piece by piece by piece. And that's what has gotten me through every heartbreak that I've ever experienced. And that same concept is what has helped me get friends through heartbreaks. And you don't really want to tell anybody it's going to be okay, even though you know it is, because in that moment they think that they are dying and the world is over. So you don't want to really tell someone it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You just let them know that you're there for them no matter what happens, right? If you, people want to know I got you, right? That's I want to know if I can't get up, that you're gonna help me up. I want to know that I got someone that's gonna come help me get dressed. I want to know that I got someone that's gonna come cook for me, because that is a fucking heartbreak, y'all. I said the F word, so I'm gonna have to put the explicit uh, content on this particular episode. But and when I look at my son, and that's what I want to protect him from, not from the pain of grief, but heartbreak. I know I cannot protect him from that, but I can prepare him for it, right? I can let him know that feel those feelings, son. Work through it, and just like a 6-year-old, feel your feelings, y'all. Work through them feelings, because some of the best heartbreak songs, you're fine when you can listen to a Mary J. Blige, the first two Mary J. Blige albums, and not cry. Man, there's some songs that I play intentionally just to test my emotional solitude, to see where I am in life. I'll play an intentionally sad song to see if I cry. Now, if I get through it and I just laugh and smirk at a memory, I made it. I'm here. And I just think that love and life and heartbreak, we all gonna go through it, and we all gonna get through it. So I just want to say thank you all for listening. And heartbreak is not the end of the world. Throw on your favorite song and keep on pushing. Until next time, y'all be good.